welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, August 9th, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. There is nothing inherently bad with the Cybercrime Bill of 2016. This is the legal opinion of veteran lawyer Parnell Campbell during his discussion of the controversial Cybercrime Bill on last night's edition of his television program, The Law and You. Campbell highlighted some of the provisions and penalties which would be introduced and stated that the bill is fit in form with many worthy features, and persons, including journalists, have nothing to fear from the bill.
So that anyone who is charged for any of these offenses and who can show that they either didn't do the thing intentionally or they had a legal excuse or justification to do what they did, would have nothing to fear, cannot be convicted. And therefore, journalists have nothing to worry about, because if a journalist is charged for violating one of these sections, the journalist's excuse is that this is required as part of a public information exercise. I have a lawful justification for doing what I have done.
In addressing Clause 16, which has drawn much criticism, Campbell stated that he cannot see what the fuss is about, as Clause 16 deals with cyberbullying, and this section merely gives protection to persons from damaging speech and false statements.
You want to tell me that somebody knows something to be false, and this is an ingredient which the prosecution will have to prove in any charge? Because it says a person who uses a computer system to disseminate any information, statement, or image, knowing the same to be false, and who damages the reputation of another person, or subjects another person to public ridicule or contempt, hatred or embarrassment, commits an offense. See, a person who intentionally or recklessly uses a computer system, etc., and so on, commits an offense. So I will continue next week to show you that there is nothing, in my respectful opinion, to be feared about Clause 16.
Meantime, Anicia Batiste, leader of the New Democratic Republic Party, in an interview with SVG-TV, said the cybercrime bill is too vague and has the potential to criminalize even the truth. Batiste, who was responding to Parnell Campbell's statements that the proposed bill is sound, argued that not only is the bill too vague and in some cases subjective to the victim's feelings, but it has the potential to criminalize even legitimate speech. Batiste said under the circumstances, she is calling on authorities to present a properly drafted bill which is clear and devoid of loopholes.
Point is, at the drafting stage, do the work properly, make the language certain, don't make it so vague and subjective, and make sure that there are not loopholes, or as far as it's possible at least, avoid the kinds of loopholes that you can get when you have such vague language. I found the quotation from the judge. It was from a 1926 case in the US, and it said, "A statute is vague and therefore facially invalid if persons of common intelligence must necessarily guess at its meaning." End of quote. So when you have to ask, what does it mean to cause a person to feel distress? Communication that causes a person to feel distress. Anything can cause a person to feel distress. Even the truth spoken causes people to feel distress. When a person has to guess at what constitutes the actual crime there, this judge says it's facially invalid.
Batiste reaffirmed her position taken sometime earlier that words should never be criminalized, and in cases of defamation, redress should be sought in the civil court.
Bring a claim and say this person has defamed me, and you would have to answer. And if you're found guilty, you would have to pay that person compensation. The argument has been created that what about somebody who is a man of straw? They don't have money, they don't have any property that you could take, etc., for them to pay compensation. And I have said, we can use other things. We can have the court order that they publish an apology. This is a court-ordered apology. Publish it in the same space where the libel was published, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's in the newspaper. It must be of a certain length. And this would show that the person, first of all, you got a guilty conviction against them. They were guilty of defaming you. And they had to apologize because what they had originally published was not the truth. And I feel this is sufficient to correct the lie that was published and to put it out there that this man is a guilty man for defaming me.
The Committee to Protect Journalists believes that lawmakers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines should amend or scrap the draft cybercrime law that would allow for prison sentences of up to 2 years for defamation. This comes in a release dated Monday, August 8th, as Parliament prepares to consider the draft on Thursday. Senior Program Coordinator for the Americas, Carlos Laurier, said that they urge legislators in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to reject the draft law on cybercrime in its current form and immediately strike existing criminal defamation laws from the Penal Code. The CPJ Senior Program Coordinator further went on to state that criminal libel laws violate international standards for free expression and could have a chilling effect on the free flow of information. CPJ has campaigned to eliminate criminal defamation laws in Latin America and the Caribbean for over a decade. The Regional Integration Unit of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, held its Consumer Protection Law workshop recently at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Conference Room. Minister of Trade and Consumer Affairs, Sir Louis Straker, says that he was pleased to have the initiative recommence under his watch to ensure that businesses as well as shoppers are protected. He says having legislation on the books will greatly facilitate this.
This is a very important piece of legislation, and it is quite necessary in order to protect our consumers and to outline, codify the obligations that businesses have. And we trust that we can move forward speedily in having the legislation on our books so that consumers can be protected. Those who supply services and products will know exactly what their obligations are, and that we would have legislation that is fair to everyone, but certainly would meet the needs of everyone.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Nathaniel Williams, says this bill will also ensure that consumers have their rights protected.
If I should use a strong word, many atrocities in the market as it relates to the dealing of consumer rights. False advertisements. And I'm not hitting businesses, I'm just simply saying facts as they are. Consumers not able to exercise or able to have some reprieve to certain things which are committed, according to their view, in their rights. Since then, government has moved, and government has been moving to ensure that the bill is passed.
Representative of the OECS Commission, Safia Horn-Debeek, says the regional organization was pleased to help its member states strengthen trade and their economies through consumer protection.
Member states, matter of fact, one of the objectives of that treaty is economic development as wide as possible and equitable distribution of benefits among our member states' citizens. And it's in that regard that they have agreed to have a common trade policy and commercial policy for which consumer protection falls within. And given member states have been, the amount of years PS would better be able to say, going back and forth on this issue, we thought it very prudent for us to, at this time, support member states with their initiatives in implementing the Consumer Protection Bill.
Almost 1 year after the business was forced to cease operations due to a fire, the Korea's Food Mart has reopened its doors to the Vincentian public with the promise of the same pleasant and convenient shopping environment. SVG-TV's Nikita Tony visited the establishment yesterday during its first day of operations and files this report.
August 16, 2016 will mark 1 year since the Carrier's Food Mart building was engulfed by fire. A disaster which resulted in the season of operations and left some 40 persons temporarily unemployed. On Monday, August 8, 2016, the establishment officially reopened its doors to the public and is said to offer the same affordable and convenient shopping experience. Chief Executive Officer of Carrier's Distribution Limited, Jimmy Ford, expressed his gratitude to the Carrier's Food Mart staff and the overall Vincentian public for their patience.
As you would recall, last year during the fire, I promised that we'll keep all the staff that we had. We did so with the exception of about 1 or 2 persons who have moved on to other opportunities and so on. So I want to thank the staff who exert a certain amount of patience waiting for us to reopen while adjusting to workplaces that they're not really accustomed to and so on. And we want to thank our customers, those that we have seen already this morning and those that are planning to come by later today during the week and so on for their patronage.
Ford noted that it is the hope of Carrier's Distribution Limited to continue to provide top-class customer service and products to all Vincentians.
Asking about when are we reopen and so on, because they're so badly missing this service close to the bus terminal. It is very convenient. So we hope to be offering the kind of service that the public, our customers, are looking for. You'd notice that our range of products have expanded significantly. What we want to do is offer our brands, our major brands, at an affordable price to the customers and hope that the customers are satisfied with our product.
Assistant Manager of Carrier's Food Mart, Eben Wilkins, highlighted some of the new additions to the newly reopened store.
Well, so far the reception has been very good, I must say. A lot of the faithful and loyal customers have turned up and they show their support and so forth, and a lot of curious persons came in as well. We now have a meat shop section where you could personally go and order your specific cuts of meat and so forth. We have also extended our pharmaceutical and cosmetic section. Same old similar products you'll find still and much more, and same competitive prices, might even be more competitive this time around. We would like to thank all our loyal customers for just being patient with us, and we hope to continue our good relationship with you guys.
Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Mobile phone company Digicel answered the call to assist with the cleanup and enhancement of capital city Kingstown when they handed over a check for $50,000 earlier today to Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis. Country Manager John Gidhari opened the ceremony by outlining why Digicel got involved in the campaign.
As a responsible corporate citizen, as Jamisha would have mentioned earlier, we saw the need to get on board, not just to help with this initiative, but to be a part of Kingstown in a meaningful way. And we've seen so many benefits of doing this, and we'll continue to support any initiative that would be driven in that direction. So with all the efforts that we'll put into this process, I'd just like to validate Digicel's commitment into making sure that this is a reality. So with the ministers and the government, we are happy to work with you very closely and to set the tone for our corporate partners, other corporate citizens, to make sure they get on board. And we'd like to lead the effort to make sure that we get this initiative going.
Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis also took the opportunity to congratulate Digicel for being the first and only commercial house to financially support the campaign.
The meeting at the Kingstown, the Methodist Church Hall, John, as country manager of Digicel, approached me and said that he was willing to make a contribution to the cleanup campaign. It's the first and only commercial house in Kingstown that has literally pledged monetary support. There have been discussions with others about particular areas of Kingstown that they have interest in investing for cleanup purposes, and those are still on discussion. But as usual, Digicel always likes to beat the gun, and favorably so.
Francis then noted that after witnessing the work done with the money, Digicel would be willing to make further contributions.
Well, I'm hoping that Digicel, having made this initiative, and as I said to John in the initial discussions, I accept the $50,000 with the hope that it is the initial contribution to the fund, and there will be further contributions as Digicel would see us working now, and they will be so impressed with the work that we will be doing, that they will be motivated to add to the $50,000 that they have already issued.
Flow St. Vincent and the Grenadines has launched the first ever digital store in SVG. Flow claims that the new store will offer state-of-the-art technology and first-class customer service to the public. We hear more in this report from SVG-TV's Nikita Tony.
With their strategy to fundamentally transform customers' shopping experience, Flow St. Vincent and the Grenadines has officially launched their new digital customer experience center at their Halifax Street location. Senior marketing executive of Flow SVG, Nicola Williams, noted that the EC $675,000 project forms part of their social responsibility to invest, innovate, and help to empower persons in an ever-changing digital world.
And you know what, we were first to launch 4G. That's because we wanted to take our country forward. We are first to launch a super experience center here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No longer would our customers go abroad, get on a plane, get to the airport and feel lost because everything just looks foreign to them. We are taking the technology that's over there in the huge countries and bring it right here in St. Vincent. So when you walk out of your country and you go to another island or you go to another country, you can say, oh yeah, we have that over there. So we're really, really proud, and it's no business as usual. From bill payment that uses a bill payment kiosk to charging stations to actually seeing your name popping up on the screen as you get queued waiting for your service. Persons are like, oh my God, do I have to go to this machine? Why do I have to go there? But once they see how easy it is, I heard persons who are actually elderly persons say, so wait a minute, I just come in here, do this, and I can leave. Some persons would rather that face-to-face communication, and for those purposes, our senior citizens have an extra special care where we have agents that are still going to be able to assist our elderly customers with their transaction.
Williams thanked customers for their continued patronage, adding that the company looks forward to further enhancing the Vincentian digital experience.
I just want to thank our customers for their patience. It was not an easy journey at all. We had to make the sacrifice to have this building here, this establishment. So we just want to thank you for your patronage, thank you for your patience, and we want to make you as proud as we are. So come, enjoy your new experience center, because it's not ours, it's all about you.
Vincentians are invited to visit the location where they can experience the company's attempt at providing cutting-edge communication technology to the society. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Nikita Tony.
With his sole aim being to convey the simple principles of life to help youth become complete beings, Seventh-day Adventist youth activist Jamel Providence hopes that he is well on his way towards attaining that goal. At the commencement of his two-day conference yesterday, Providence noted that his inspiration for the conference was the belief that God wanted his children to prosper and be in good health.
Never promises us a bed of roses. In fact, a bed of rose life is never a good one, because we ought not to forget that there are thorns among the roses that's going to choke you. Friends, God wants the best for us, because I know that my Bible tells me that God wishes above all things that we prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. That is why I believe God inspired me to have this complete youth conference.
Participants witnessed presentations on Who God Says They Are by Pastor Shane Franklin and Living with a Purpose-Driven Life by popular Seventh-day Adventist singer Curtis Williams.
The capacity to communicate, the freedom to make choices in knowledge of right and wrong, and the responsibility to administer and rule over the rest of creation. All of these are reflection of God's image in us as we live our lives daily. And each young person here today must understand that your fullest potential and being is when we truly reflect the image of God.
That God wants us busy. God wants us occupied. God wants us involved in something purposeful, in something intentional, in a plan that we actually have. Not just going along or being another or being a one more, but actually utilizing our uniqueness to do something specific that only each of us can do like that.